Okay, guys, welcome to Empowered Elite's team call for March 2nd. I just wanted to go over a couple things real quick. And before we get started, does anybody have rank advancements from last week? Or if you weren't on last week, from the week prior that you want to shout out?
Yes, I do. Amanda Lindell is, Mandy is an emerald. She's an emerald.
Yay, Amanda!
And I also have one to announce. I'm super excited about this tomorrow. Jeremy just hit Emerald. It will be official tomorrow.
Yay, so exciting. I think there's another one too. Who are we forgetting that's not on? Oh, it's Megan's coach. Well, she can announce her when she gets on, but Megan Damone will be Emerald this week as well. Congratulations, guys.
Oh, I have an Emerald. Jessica Dine is Emerald. I don't think I've gotten a chance to introduce her yet.
Awesome.
And I have to check with
Emeralds
Pam, actually.
What's that?
Pam might actually be hitting it tomorrow. I have to double check. That would be fabulous.
Emerald Factory this week. Awesome. Good job, guys. Congratulations. Okay.
And one more thing. Sorry. My sister's. Okay. It's in the cupboard above the sink. It's my sister's regaining diamond as of tomorrow. So.
Sweet.
Yay. Yeah.
I love you, Liz, wherever you are.
Not on the call.
Okay, so as you guys know, 22-minute hardcore launched yesterday. The challenge packs are available. So the promos this month, we have hardcore is with Shakeology for $140, or if people don't want Shakeology, they can get it with the performance line. And it comes with Energize and Recover, which is the chocolate like post-workout shake. So that's an option as well. We do have PiYo, the PiYo challenge pack on sale for $140, and we also have 3-day refresh challenge pack on sale for $140. So we have some awesome new programs for people this month. And we're going to be doing a team-wide challenge group for 22-minute hardcore on the 21st. So if you guys want to join in on the challenge group, a lot of us are actually going to be doing the program if you want to order it and do it with us. And definitely if you want to share and invite people to that group, the more the merrier.
I need a quick question with that.
Yes.
Because I can't do that program, most likely. So can I jump in, though, if I have people that want to be in it and kind of just be in doing my stuff, but part of that group?
Of course.
Okay.
Okay. And the second thing I was going to mention is that in case you guys haven't seen it yet, the performance line, they do have it in the sample packets now. So like if you want to order Energize just in single packets, those make, great challenge group giveaways or just great little things to send to your customers if you know that they're like really struggling to get through workouts or whatever. It's just a good way to let people know that we do have more than just fitness programs and Shakeology. And that is about all that I wanted to cover. But the whole idea of this team call tonight is that I know a lot of times you're just listening to me talk or you are listening to guest speakers talk. And I really wanted to give an opportunity to some of the coaches or any of the coaches on this team to step up and share things that are, helping you have success in this business, because we have a lot of different strengths on this team. And I think the more that we can utilize those and work together, the better off that we're going to be and the more connected we're all going to feel. So I have 6 of you written down. Megan's not on. That have offered to step up and share your top 3 tips for having success in this business. And if you guys don't want to, go in order, I'll just shout you out. Does anybody want to start? Laura, go for it.
Sure.
Or Laura, fine.
Okay. I just wrote something down. So the first thing that I think people struggle with, and it's like so fundamental, is sharing your story on Facebook and figuring out how to share your story. I really think people don't want to see what the challenge pack promos are. They really don't care, I mean, it might be something you can use to influence if someone's interested in 22-minute hardcore, and you can say, okay, yeah, that's that's great. It's on sale this month. You're saving $20. But truthfully, that's not going to get anybody's attention on Facebook because it just isn't. So it's things that are meaningful to you and things that talk about your story, your struggles, your strength, whatever is like really what I think is like coming back to me now, because I feel, I mean, I did well last month and I already have a bunch of great leads on friends and family, and not family, but friends and people who I didn't know were watching me that have been, who are reaching out and saying, you're so inspiring. And I think maybe I'm ready to get started or whatnot. So like consistency and time with sharing your story, number one. And then I think that your journey is super important. So if you're not exercising, if you're not drinking Shakeology, if you're not doing your vital behaviors, then even if you're kind of faking it on Facebook, I think people can tell. I mean, I was super sick a lot of the fall and I struggled to stay on track and struggled to be inspiring. And I definitely suffered in my business some. Luckily, I was still able, I had followers, but I feel like I've attracted so many more people just being strict on a program in the last few months and, you know, feeling strong, and like I emanate that in my posts. And then I kind of have 4, but the third one that we all talk about is personal development. And it's if your coach has sent you a book and you just like, it kills you to get through. Excuse me. What? I'm on a phone call. What was I saying? Oh, if I've sent you a book, if your coach has sent you a book, I'm sorry. I know she can't get her diaper on. She's trying to get ready for bed. Choose a different book, because I've definitely like gotten partway through books and I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm going to read a couple more pages tonight, but it doesn't grab my attention. It doesn't speak to me. And it may be like, there's a book recently about leadership that Dana was reading that she was just like obsessed with, and I bought it right away and I was so psyched. And I think maybe obviously Dana's further ahead in her leadership journey than I am. And so it just wasn't really speaking to me. It wasn't where I wasn't able to meet the book where it was. And so, you know, I went back to something else that I like. So find something that speaks to you. And when you're done with that, find another one. So I think that that's huge. I get a lot of my like post ideas at night when I'm reading, and I tag pages and whatever. And then the other thing that Kelly and I have been doing a lot, and Dana's jumped in a lot, is scheduling power hours with somebody. If you have a accountability partner, or if you have like another mom who's on the same schedule that you are, you know, Kelly and I are on the same schedule a lot of the time. So it's just, we're like, all right, let's set the date. So we get up and we do our power hours. And the other thing I've learned to do for that is prepare for it. So the night before, I write down like all the new people that have liked my posts from that day. I write down people I need to follow up with. And then I write down, actually, those are the main things I write down: follow up, people I'm ready to invite, and then people who have liked my post that I'll start forming with. And then when Kelly and I get on and we're like, you have 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I can whip through those things really quickly. And I'm not like searching for people online during my power hour to do my power hour, because then I'm wasting half my power hour searching for people. So yes, it's more time to do it the night before, but then I feel really prepared and set up for the actual power hour. And now I'll stop talking. That was it. But
I just want to recap 2 things that you said that I think were probably the most important. Being consistent with your own journey. There is a reason that being a product of the product is one of the 3 vital behaviors. Because like you said, it is very hard to fake it. It is very hard to speak to it with passion. It is a lot harder to share how much you know this is going to change for somebody if you're not actively doing it yourself. And I made a post about this in the team page a couple weeks ago, but saying, if you have not yet committed fully to a program, or if you're kind of just sometimes all in, sometimes not, commit to a program, you know, whether it's 22-minute hardcore or whatever you're doing right now, and just go all in. Stick to the nutrition program, drink your Shakeology every day, do your workouts, you know, do what you would tell your challenger to do to have success, and see how different you feel. Because when you are 100% committed, and I can speak to this last week when I was struggling with hip pain to do my workouts, that my energy is off. My mood sucks. I'm not inspired. I'm not, eager to get up in the morning and make some post of why I'm so excited about this lifestyle, because when you're not living it, it's really hard to speak to it. And when you are living it, it's just so easy to share what you're doing and share your life and share how you feel and what you're excited about. And it even reflects in your conversations with people, because you feel so damn good that you want to share it with everybody in the world. And you're a lot more confident in your invites and your conversations. So that's a huge one, Laura. And PD, I think the best thing that you mentioned about that is a lot of times you'll see somebody else that read a book and they really love it, like you said, and it just doesn't speak to you. And if you're reading a book and it doesn't make you want to stay up late because you're just so eager to turn the page and read what's on the next page, then you're not reading the right book for you right now. And it's not saying that that's not going to help you at some point, but I can tell you, when I was a new coach and I read The Slight Edge for the first time, I hated it. I was like, God, this is just so simple. It's talking about consistency over and over and over again. And when I went back a year later and I read it, I loved it. It was so impactful to me because I could see how consistency had affected my business over the past year. So if you're struggling in any way, or you feel like what you're reading is not helping you, get another book. Find something that makes you feel inspired and passionate and like you're growing as a person. And it's going to help your mindset so much for this business. Katie, do you want to go next, since I think you were trying to jump in before?
Yeah, I was trying to jump in before you guys stole everything I was going to say. Sorry. No, I completely agree with a lot of that. And I mean, it does come down to the basics of the basics of the basics of the 3 vital behaviors. So that was part of mine. But then in addition to that, even as like a new coach, you want to go to events, because this is where a lot of people say that they had their breakthroughs and they had their major inspiration. So going to these amazing events where you hear about all the new products, everybody's excited, coaches are changing lives, you hear success stories about how their lives have changed and just what the company is doing. It's so inspirational and just fuels you. And if you can bring somebody with you, or bring a spouse, or bring a friend or somebody like that, it also kind of helps in a marketing sense as well, because then they can get excited for it too and kind of see what all the rage is. And when I went to an event 2 weekends ago now, it was for Diamonds and talking about leadership, which I talked with Kelly a little bit about. But the biggest thing that I got out of that was from Christina Delgado. She was talking about leadership, which I think is a huge transition within the business when you're going from your journey and trying to figure out just how the program works to actually leading a team. There's a weird transition. Dana actually told me about this one. So you can go on like regional pages and find who like your regional directors and different Facebook groups, and they'll post within there. But Christina Delgado was talking about her 3 layers of leadership. So once you sign up for a challenge pack and you decide to become any sort of coach, discount coach, run with it coach, I'm all in coach, any of those things, once you decide to become a coach, you are automatically put into a leadership position. So regardless of if you think you're a leader or not, you are. So just own that. And she talked about her 3 layers of leadership, which number 1, the first layer that you have to master is number 1, leading yourself. So that's primarily being a product of the product and committing 100% to a program. And that's when you're going to be the most inspired. That's when you're going to feel your best, and making sure that you're doing things that, make you happy, because then that comes through everything. Her second layer was leading your team. And then the third layer is leading your leaders. So as I think around going from emerald to diamond and above-ish, that transition between layer 1 and layer 2 is very difficult to kind of navigate. And it's staying within being a product of the product and continuing on things that excite you, transitioning, trying new products and keeping that excitement, and then also having others do the same and kind of reproducing that in your coaches. And then once your coaches kind of can emulate that, then find the people that are really, really passionate about it and lead them as well. So I think that was, anybody have questions, I guess? I don't know. That was kind of where I wanted to go.
I think I'm really glad you shared that. I always refer to events as putting skin in the game for a couple reasons. But one thing that I think is important as well is that when you're sharing that you're going to events on your Facebook, people take you more seriously. They know that you're not just, working out and drinking a shake and, trying to get them in a challenge group, that you are actually a part of Beachbody and this community, and, showing up and getting to events and wanting to grow yourself as a business person. And also events often excite people because they want that sense of community. And the other side of that, what you talked about with the leadership, I know I've mentioned before, but I've been working on a leadership training, and a couple of the coaches on the team are going to help me make the videos for it. I'm hoping to have it open by next Monday, but that is basically a lot of what we're going to be covering in the training, is how to get from that first level onto the next levels, because that is a big, huge jump from getting to diamond and moving beyond that, because you're starting to learn not just to work your business, but to help others learn how to run their businesses. And that's often where a lot of people get kind of caught up because your success, doesn't just depend on you anymore. So I'm really glad that you shared that with us. That's definitely a really, really big thing for people to start thinking about, is that there's no time that's too early to start thinking about being a leader, because that's where you're all headed in a business like this. So thank you, Katie, for sharing. Does anybody have questions for Katie about what she shared? No? Okay.
I just was going to say that, Katie, I feel like it's been obvious that you were inspired by it since you went to it. Like, your posts have really gotten more depth to them, and I just think they've been really good. So keep it up.
Thank you.
I totally agree. And when we talked about this, we had our one-on-one call, and Katie was talking for an hour. I feel like it was an hour about everything. And I was literally scribbling notes. But one thing that really stood out to me was just, some of what Katie just shared, but just really the first layer of leadership is, and it's something I'm going to talk about, but is just taking responsibility and learning, everything that there is to do at that first layer. But anyway, I had to agree with Laura. I think you've been so inspired, and it's been really clear.
Kelly, while you're unmuted, do you want to go next?
Well, I remuted, but yeah. Just kidding. Yeah. So my 3 tips actually, and as I was just speaking, I was like, well, I'm just giving one of mine away. But the first one is to take responsibility for yourself and your business. And alongside that, not only to take yourself, or to take responsibility, but to hold yourself accountable for growing further. So for example, I think what has really helped me in this business is I've never thrown myself a pity party about not being able to do something. Instead, I've made it my goal to figure out how to do that thing. And I think that is the sort of attitude that you have to have in this business to be able to not only take control of yourself and your business, but to be able to lead a good team. And I wrote down that you have to be able to be an expert in any area to be able to expect others to follow you and respect what you're saying. Be like, I wouldn't come on this call and say, hey, my advice is to be great at recruiting, because where's a blue laser? Anyway, I wouldn't come on this call and say, hey, you guys, like, here, I'm going to give you this call on recruiting, and I'm going to tell you how to be the best recruiter, because I'm not the best recruiter. So I think for me, that I heard that on a call once, and that stood out to me. It's not only taking responsibility for your business, but holding yourself accountable to get better at that thing, and understanding that you are the person that's driving your business and your team. So you can't expect your team to learn any more than you know. So sorry, that was kind of tough love, but it's true. And that was number one. Number two is to stay focused on business building behaviors. And I found this magazine that I don't even know how I signed up for, Entrepreneur in the Mail. But it has 22 leadership qualities, and their number one leadership quality it says you should have is focus, which is my definite weakness. But it says, this quote says, it's been said that leadership is making important but unpopular decisions. That's certainly a partial truth, but I think it underscores the importance of focus. To be a good leader, you cannot major in minor things. You must be less distracted than your competition. To get the few critical things done, you must develop incredible selective ignorance. I just thought that was so powerful, because I think so often in this business, we get really distracted in the shiny things and the notifications and the fun. I mean, for me at least. And when I've been able to really dial into what the business building activities are, which for me are, the same as anyone, those business building activities, but I place a high emphasis and importance on my social media, because I understand the value of attraction marketing, and that works in my favor when I don't have a lot of time. So for me, those business building activities are social media and networking, and obviously, working out and being a product of the product as well. And then number three is sort of different than I feel like most people might say, but it's something where I feel like in my first year of this business, I wasted a lot of time, and that it really started getting to me. I think my wheels started spinning so much that I felt like I was never going to stay afloat in this business. And so my number three is to do a thing once. And I think for a long time I was posting in my challenge groups, and I was coming up with all this great content, and I was writing these emails, and I was doing free groups, but I wasn't saving anything. And I feel like that was just such a waste of my time. Looking back, it's like I should have had all of those free groups in a document. And that's not to say that when you do a free group or you send an email, it has to be freaking perfect. It just has to be done and saved, because the next time you do it, guess what? You're going to make it even better if you tweak it. So it's not only helping to build, to move you along and shorten the time that you're going to have to be working in the future, but it's also really helping you improve as you go, because you're building on what you've already done. So those are my three.
I love those three tips, because those are things that I definitely struggled with too. I think the biggest thing for everybody to take away from that one is the focusing on business building work versus busy work, because it is so easy to be scrolling Facebook and thinking like, I'm looking for potential customers, or getting caught up in making ridiculously fancy graphics when you could be spending that time inviting, especially if you only have a limited amount of time that you have to put into your business. You have to know exactly what you are going to do when you sit down to work your business. Because even I'm guilty of this sometimes. I sit down and I have a list, and then I'm like, oh, well, I need to go check this group, and I need to go set that one up, and I need to go do this and do that. And 40 minutes passes, and I'm like, cool, I haven't even touched my to-do list yet. So really, really honing in on focusing on the first thing you should be doing every day when you sit down to work your business is your vital behaviors. If you do things after that above and beyond, awesome. And if you have time to do more than that, perfect. But every day when you have your time that you sit down to work your business, the business building behaviors are the things that you need to train yourself to do first. And it does take focus, and it does take determination, because those are not always the fun things to do in this business, but they are the only way that your business is actually going to grow. I love that you mentioned that, Kelly, because I know that we talked about it a couple weeks ago, and that was what inspired doing the power hours together, like Laura mentioned. And it's been super helpful, because if you work with somebody, or even if you set a timer for yourself and say, like, I'm going to add to my network for 3 minutes, I'm going to form with 5 new people in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to invite for 10 minutes. And once you're done, you can feel good that you've done everything you know you needed to do to move your business forward today. And then you can get to the fun stuff. All right. Awesome, Kelly. I love it. Oh, and Kelly, because you mentioned that magazine, I don't know if you guys have heard of Entrepreneur on Fire, the podcast, but that's a really, really awesome podcast to listen to. And it's not just like Beachbody entrepreneurs, like it's entrepreneurs in general, like concepts of entrepreneurship, and it's really helpful.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard a Beachbody one. It's all been different ones, and it's great.
Yeah. Who else was supposed to go? Oh, Stephanie.
If you recall, I said if my head leaves the psych eval section.
Oh, okay. So no go. Anything? One thing?
I have a couple things. I don't know. I guess some tips to kind of, for those that are like working full time and trying to balance, because I find that is my biggest issue. One of the things that I find that I kind of tend to have to do is I don't do a power hour. My power hour is throughout the day when I get a free moment. So if I'm getting into work at 8 o'clock and before I start reading all my emails for the day, I'm doing friend requests. And then I'll go on my computer and do my regular work emails. When I stop with something for 10 minutes and I need to decompress and I need to kind of walk away from my desk, I'll sit there and send out a quick email to one person or to somebody else. And I'll do that throughout the day whenever I can actually find those 5 minutes. Because even when I get home at night, if I do have those set hours, which I try to do, they're also limited to Monday nights. I'm trying to do my own team calls. Then Wednesday night we have this call. Tuesday night I teach. So my weeknights are very packed also. So it's a matter of just trying to squeeze it in when you can, so that time management is really important. And then I was kind of just thinking along the lines of, if you're looking for the income component for this, to kind of get yourself to Diamond as quick as you can, because that's where you'll at least start seeing something more than a $20 or $30 weekly commission. So I know, Dana, you had laughed with me about this when I said that I felt like I cheated because I used my husband. But I found that if you can get one rockstar coach on one leg and then your spouse or family member on another to get you to Diamond, it gives you that time to get somebody else to run with it on the other leg. So thankfully, I actually ended up with 2 on the same leg as my husband, and he lost his emerald. And I'm okay, and it's given me time to build my success club to then get him back to emerald, so I'm in a safety zone. So I think that's huge, to try and always give yourself that safety net somewhere if you can, so that you don't lose that rank wherever you are. And I think those are my 2 big things. And personal development, yes, we all know it is huge. And again, I can't sit and read a book anymore, because if I'm in bed trying to read for 10 minutes, I'm falling asleep. So I find that when I don't have to take my son to daycare in the morning, I'm listening to a podcast on the way, or lately it's been more podcasts, and I'm very into Shaun T's new Trust and Believe. Just love him. He's just amazing. And even the days that I drive my son, once he's out of the car, I have like 8 minutes from daycare to my office, and I put something on. So at least I'm getting it in when I can. And that little boost really kind of helps. Even if it's for an hour, it gives you that okay, I could face the day, I could get through, and you feel a lot better than just, oh God, how am I going to do this? So that's kind of my 3 things.
You need to stop thinking that you don't have amazing things to share, because you do. I think that's super important to mention how you find time gaps in your day, because whether you're working full time or at home with kids, it is so important to find those little time gaps and use them wisely. Because it is hard sometimes to sit down and make time for all the things that you want to do in your life with all the other things that you have going on as well. But if it's a priority to you, like it is for Stephanie, you will find a way to make it work, even if it looks a little bit chaotic to everybody else. I love that. And so the last thing, did we have anybody else? Hold on. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody.
Stephanie, I just want to say I totally forgot about that. Like, I don't know. It's so easy for me to like now forget what it was like. But when I built my whole business, that's what I did. Like, that's how it all started for me. I would get on calls and be like, hey, here's my advice. Don't do a power hour at one time. Like, you won't be able to do it. Just space it out throughout the day. It's the only way. So you have to like figure out what works in your schedule for sure.
Kelly, do you remember that you used to hide in like the linen closet at work?
I would just sit in rooms because I was a housekeeping manager for like 15 minutes at a time and be like, okay, I'll do a quarter power hour here.
It reminds me of Brad Bizjack. I know we've had him on the team call before, but Brad Bizjack built his business when he was working a corporate job 70 hours a week, and he would talk about how he'd go and like lock himself in the bathroom for 5 minutes to make a post on Facebook, because that's how important it was to him to be consistent. So
I totally take ridiculously long bathroom breaks when I'm working my 12-hour shifts nursing. I'm like, it's the only way, because if they see me like on my phone, they're like,
And
I'm
you
gonna
have
get
to
in
block
trouble.
everyone that you work with. Like,
I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom again. I'm sorry.
Every single
I do the post and then block everyone that was my friend that was an employee.
you guys are too-
Whatever works, get it done.
Oh, the last person that was going to share, but her babes aren't feeling so great today, but Megan, so she wrote me what she wanted to share, and I'm just going to read it to you. She said, be genuine, be yourself. Your brand will be easy to develop, and people will trust you for staying true to yourself. For example, don't share stock photos and don't overload people's news feeds with Shakeology selfies or selfies in promo gear saying, I crushed my workout. Speak to them through your posts, not at them. Stand out from the other million coaches overloading and frankly annoying some people. And with what she just said, I'm sure you guys, a lot of you have heard me say it before, but don't be a cookie cutter coach. The only, thing that is different about us in this business is what we bring to it and who we are, and putting ourselves into our business and putting our stories into our business is what sets us apart and attracts people to us. The second thing she said is, stay consistent and don't let no discourage you. Just because someone says no doesn't mean they aren't still watching you. Stay consistent, and when they are ready, they will reach out, or they will say yes when you reach out to them and follow up again later. It's just their way of saying no, not right now. And the last thing she said is, don't be scared to share on social media. You don't have to come out screaming, I'm a coach, come do a challenge with me. Just share your story, share your journey, share your results, share your feelings about this journey and your lifestyle. Results speak to people and feelings speak to people, and that keeps you relatable and perceived as something other than a shake drinking, pushing robot. I absolutely love that, because I don't know about you guys, but I try really hard to help this team be storytellers, not sellers and pushers, because there is nothing that I hate more than seeing that on my news feed from coaches on other teams. I just think it is so icky. It doesn't speak to where our hearts are in this business. It doesn't speak to what it's done for you in your life. And I mean, I don't know if you see people from other companies as well, some of the things that they share, but it's just like, I immediately go and remove a lot of people when I see certain posts, because that's how much I can't stand them. Because reality is, guys, we are not product pushers. Like we are people that are trying to attract other people to us that desire change in their lives. Like I mentioned in our post last night, we all have different stories. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different struggles and things we've been through in our lives. And those emotions and the things that we're transforming in our lives are how we actually connect to people and how people learn to trust us and want to be mentored by us. And I quickly just wanted to finish this off with something that I have posted before in the team page, but I would encourage you to do this tonight, because I do this for myself often. And I often do find that there is things that I really, really need to work on with my social media posts. But social media is the only way for people to know what you are up to. And for me, being consistent on social media, I can hands down, aside from personal development, say that has been one of the most important things in my business from day one. All the coaches that are on my team right now, I have connected with through posts on Facebook. I mean, it's not rocket science, guys. It's not something that you have to go ahead and reinvent the wheel, but you do have to figure out how to make social media work for you. And so my call to action tonight is to go to your Facebook wall tonight when we get off this call and look at your last 15 posts. And I have a couple questions that I want to ask you in reference of this. When you go and you look at your last 15 posts on your Facebook wall, do they seem more positive or more negative? Are you consistent? Are you speaking to hope for the future or complaining about your current situation or the past? Are you sharing your life outside of Beachbody? Are you openly sharing your journey, the successes, the struggles, vulnerability, challenges, triumphs, successes? Are you sharing your transformation, your daily life, and how you make your lifestyle work for you with the busy schedule? Are you, and these are the most important questions. Are you inspired by you? Are you empowered by you? And this is like pretending if you don't know you and you're just somebody random that you've added to your network, just to clarify. Are you inspired by you? Are you empowered by you? Entertained, motivated? Would you want to follow you? Would you feel like you relate to you? Would you want to be mentored by you or coached by you? Would you want to be friends with you? Would you easily know your personality and your sense of humor? And would you know your life aside from Beachbody, as in your family, your kids, your hobbies, your interests? And what I tell myself when I look at my Facebook is that I do share a lot about struggles, and I know that one thing I can work on is, my wording and making it come off more positive than negative, because some of my posts last week when I was in Struggle City came off more negative than I wanted them to. And I think it is important to be real and share those struggles, but share them in a way that we are working to overcome them. But the last thing that I wrote down, and this is something that I tell myself, is that people do not want to be mentored or coached by mediocre. They want to be coached and mentored by people who believe in themselves and what they are doing. They want to know that you are confident in what you have to offer them as a coach or as a challenger or as somebody that's looking to build a business and join their team. So when you go and you look at your Facebook posts, it's a good thing to ask yourself, if you didn't know you, would you trust you to be somebody to be coached by or to be mentored by? And I think that that's a really, great thing to sit back and ask yourself sometimes and see if there's anything you feel like you can tweak in your posts to do them differently. And aside from you going and looking at that, it might be beneficial to you to ask somebody within the team or a success partner or, one of your close Beachbody friends, if they would go and kind of do a critique of your Facebook wall for you, and see if there's anything that they can advise you that you might be able to better work on. And with that said, you know, be proud of yourselves for what you are doing. Be proud of yourselves for being on these calls and showing up and being eager to learn, because that is a lot more than some people are willing to do. And it shows that you are dedicated, and that you are here for a reason greater than yourself, and that you do have a long-term vision and goal. And I'm just super proud of everybody on this team. As you guys know, we hit a huge team goal last night, that we have over 1,000 people in our downline now. And I just was floored when I opened my Coach Online office, because I've been waiting for that goal for months now. And you guys hightailed it the end of last month and just rallied for it and helped so many people. We helped almost 100 people in the month of February. And that is just so incredible to me, because we have a small team, but when we work together for a common cause, we are so powerful. And the last thing that I want to mention, because it is getting late, I am planning our first ever Empowered Elite Diamond Retreat. I am not really the best planner, so you're going to have to bear with me. But I wanted to put it out there that this is in the making, and I am going to make it happen. And I have decided to do it at the end of May, simply because I had 2 opportunities to either do it in May or in the fall. And I just thought that if we could do it and really come together sooner on in the year, it's going to help us all get a lot closer towards where we want to be for end of year goals and even for summit goals. So I have been looking at beach bungalows to pick for a weekend for the diamond and above coaches on this team. I'll be posting the qualifications of when you have to hit by and what you have to do to be able to require for that retreat. But I'm not just offering it to my personally sponsored coaches. I'm offering it to any diamonds on this team. So if diamond is something that has been, a goal of yours, or, in your mind frame of something you want to do in the next few months, I suggest that you step it up a little bit if you really want to be there with us, because I'm going to have an awesome guest speaker lined up for us, and we're just going to do some fun team building exercises and just get to spend some time together, as a lot of us have never met each other before. And I'm also going to do professional photos as well while we are there. So like I said, I will finalize the details and let you know sometime by the end of this week. Stephanie, I know that it's not the best for you, but hey, as a leader, sometimes you have to make hard decisions, and
no, I'm telling you now, I
not every
can't.
decision works for everybody. So I had to do what was best for the team as a whole. And my hopes, like I said, is that this leadership training is up and running by next week, so that it will help you guys that are really building and pushing for Diamond to have those leadership training and concepts and lessons that you really need to push forward and have awesome success in this business. So I hope that you guys are excited as I am. I'm like a little kid in a candy store. Now I gotta catch up on comments. Oh. Okay. Katie, 21-day fix is still on sale, I believe, until the 8th. They'll take it down. 7th or 8th. I looked today, but I forgot. So if you do have people that were interested in the 21-day fix, make sure to reach out and remind them. You can FAQ it, but I'm pretty sure it was the 8th. And the 21-day fix extreme as well. What are you sharing, Stephanie?
I said I'm going to cry. I'm a little disappointed. I was counting on like November, like a weekend away.
Well, the reason that I chose May, and I know that it's like coming up quickly, but I really wanted to give us all an opportunity to get together before Summit, because I know that some people are not going to be able to attend Summit. Yes.
God, most of my team can't attend Summit, which sucks. But Dana, we need to look into hotels again. You can't
For
forget.
Summit, yes.
Yeah.
Who here is registered or who is off the wait list to come to Summit?
I actually have a ticket that I'm going to have to give to somebody on the team because I cannot go.
You can
So we
give
have
your
to
ticket
book-
away if you have it.
I had heard somewhere that you
I
can
think
sign it over if you earned it.
Yeah.
Oh, because Melissa Vickers earned it too, and she's due July 30th. So
I'm due September 5th, so.
I'm still on the wait list, but I would want to nominate Katie if you do want to give it away because she freaking deserves her ticket, and I'm so pissed she didn't get it. She's like 3 days short, like some dumb thing, like fine print for not winning it. So if anyone wants to donate, I have to not nominate myself, but nominate her.
Katie, you there? If we could figure out a way for you to get it, I can't go.
Call headquarters and ask them because I think that they have a form that you can fill out, a transfer form.
oh, that's cool to know. Yeah, Stephanie, let me know what you find out so I can tell Melissa because I know she was interested in giving her ticket away if she could also because she earned it. Yeah.
When is it?
Keep in mind, because I know we have a couple brand new coaches on the team, and for you guys to remind your new coaches that you're bringing onto the team about Success Starters. Success Starters is when you hit Success Club your first 3 months as a coach, you will earn a free ticket to Summit of 2016, which is like a free value. That was how I went to my first Summit because otherwise I probably wouldn't have gone. But these events are absolutely life-changing. It's something that you cannot compare any experience to. Last year in Nashville, we had 35,000 coaches that just literally took over Nashville, and it was absolutely incredible trainings and, you know, trainer workouts, and it's just something you don't want to miss. So if you're on the wait list, hopefully you get off. If you can figure out switching your tickets, that's awesome. And if you guys are brand new coaches, you should definitely have your eyes set on being a Success Starter so you can earn a ticket for next year.
Dana, I bought mine last year before I found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like I'm gonna go this year since he's gonna be due mid-April. So we'll see.
You can always bring him with. You'll have lots of babysitters.
I was pumping the whole time I was there last year, Marina.
I was
Where's with
the whole
I'm
time
not,
I was
she's
at-
only going to be 3 months and my baby was 10, so I can't say, but
Well, my baby was, what, 4 or 5 months?
yeah, you were pumping too. We were finding random rooms to pump in and stuff.
Jeremy, if you ever come to the Summit, at least you don't have to worry about that.
Exactly. I'm like, I can help out with the babysitting part, but this other stuff, you've lost me on.
I love it. I love having a guy on the team. It's awesome. We've never had this before.
I am actively recruiting one right now. Like
Kelly just got one too.
I'm super psyched.
I have one. I was actually gonna maybe connect you guys. He's like super into it. He actually was a free lead, guys. So don't discredit the leads ever. But he's been messaging me like I sent him all my new coach stuff. I gave him access to like all the documents. He's like really into it. So super exciting.
Awesome.
Wait, when you guys brought your babies to the summit, was your spouse with you or did you just go alone?
I went alone.
People do bring babies. I didn't bring Declan. 'cause
I left the
baby
baby
when I went. People do. Liz Elizabeth Harkey that runs CTC brought her baby last year with her hubby.
And like her mom came and helped her too or something, or maybe
A
it was
lot of coaches bring their babies.
So they just wear their baby like the whole time?
You can,
no.
yeah.
But
Liz
for,
Harkey
like,
didn't
night
have
events,
her.
probably not, but
Yeah. But the hotels are close to most of the stuff, so you could, I mean, they could just be around if that was something you like.
alrighty, guys. Does anybody have any questions? I don't want to keep you too late. It's already almost 9:30. No. All right, guys. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for sharing. I definitely thought your tips were awesome, and I hope that everybody on the call took something or some things away from it. We will see you guys next week. Oh, wait, we need a team picture for our 1,000 mark goal for me to remember. So everybody smile, and I'm gonna take a picture.
Wait, let me turn my light on so you can see me.
Yeah, you typically are black in photos. All right.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I don't think it's working. Okay, wait. I'm gonna take two, just in case. Ready? Everybody want to do a crazy face?
Can you do duck face?
I can't do hands. Okay. Perfect. All right. Love you guys. Have a good night.